Buonasera. Welcome to our third episode of the CURVA Calcio Podcast. We had a really exciting week. Last week we talked about, we had a lot to talk about in the international break. Surprisingly, there were a lot of interesting storylines, but this week, Serie A had a lot.
Had a little bit of a kick to it with the addition of the Champions League.
Well, if people catch our Twitter account and our Instagram, we actually posted and sort of promoted Juve versus Fiorentina, and it ended up being the worst game of the week.
Game of the week.
I was pleased with the results. I was very pleased.
Because since Inter fan, it's
very
obvious
the
at this
purple
point.
flower in my house.
I'd rather, and we're gonna talk about the Champions League as well.
That was big for Serie A and not for Inter.
Not for Inter, but
for Serie A, yes.
For Serie
for
A,
not well, you know what?
For Atalanta,
the Italian teams didn't do very well. Only Napoli, and I mean Napoli beating the reigning champion.
Only Napoli, sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Okay, you know what? Let's begin with the Champions League. We have a lot to talk about Serie A too that I want to get into, but let's start with the Champions League.
with Napoli. Going against the odds, beating the reigning champions Liverpool 2-0. Do you think Robertson fouled Mertens? Was that a foul? In my opinion, I don't think so. I think it was a little exaggerated, the fall. He got ball first, and I mean, the motion of him drawing his foot back clipped just little, but not to a point where it's going to cause someone to fall.
I think he got enough.
It was a little...
Just a tip.
It was borderline. I think it was a little exaggerated. I didn't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe.
A lot of people are looking at the VAR. And, again, going back to our first podcast on, VAR and some of the complaints people have with it, some of the backlash... This one decision had quite a bit of backlash, right?
But I will respond with this, and that the whole game itself didn't necessarily come down to that VAR call. So I will say that, and there's an observation I made when I was watching it. It seemed like Napoli was. Liverpool's on the road, right? And they were in a newly renovated stadium.
They just won too.
And they won. No, but Liverpool was. You knew they were going to come out and they were going to attack.
They were going to come
on the
strong,
front foot, right? They're reigning champions in the Champions League, and Napoli they kind of withstood a lot of the attacks that Liverpool.
They absorbed it.
They absorbed it very well.
They had no problem kind of just staying back in their own half and just keeping their players organized while Liverpool tried to be creative and work their way through. And a lot of people say, okay, well, Alisson's injured. If he wasn't injured, Llorente's goal wouldn't have happened because Alisson he's really quick to jump into the play. And Llorente's goal was miscommunication between I think it was Robertson that kind of screwed up the pass back to Matip. And in my opinion, if it was Alisson, he would have already been out to come sweep it, kind of like similar to Neuer.
Yeah.
But Adrian played a fantastic game as well. He came up with some pretty clutch saves.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was more evenly balanced than I would have assumed.
I just look at Napoli, and I'm surprised based on their early weeks in Serie A how they were just leaking goals like crazy, and then they come out with...
They solidified very nicely.
A real solidified match against arguably one of the top 2 or 3 attacks in the world. Mm-hmm. And it looked like at the end of it, they deserved to win. You look at everything. So
I think that has something to do with it, like them playing Liverpool. They're prepared more. Trying to they're going into Champions League excited, ready to play.
Yeah,
and I think this is the beginning of that Manolas and Koulibaly relationship. Now I think it's starting to gel in really nicely. And I've been saying this constantly. I love the way Di Lorenzo plays.
Yeah,
he's been amazing.
He was a really good pickup.
He had a really good game, in my opinion. One maybe man of the match.
Yeah,
very similar to Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah,
in which he's a creative mind, likes to get into the play. But he's a really good zone marker.
He's a modern fullback.
Almost
like a wingback, right?
Defensively, he's a really good zone marker.
Yeah.
He knows where he needs to be. He keeps up with the winger. I think it was Salah on his... No, it was Mane on his side.
And Mane, I mean...
Quickly paced, knows how to make those runs in between. That's where he gets most of his goals.
Yeah.
Running through the fullback on the outer side and cutting his way through the crease of the net. So, I mean, he marked him really well.
Yeah, on a side note though, we'll say, Meret played in a really good game for Napoli.
Yeah,
there were a lot of
very good
chances
game.
for Liverpool.
Yeah.
They could have easily went up 1 or 2.
They had a lot
now.
of chances.
Yeah, and
He's been keeping Napoli in their games for
all season. I think even though they've had leaky goals, right?
I'm just watching the highlights now, and there are 2 attempts on Napoli's net could have easily went in.
Yeah,
Salah had got a lot of good opportunities.
Yeah.
so did Mane. He had a really good one too.
Yeah.
If you look on paper, the very evenly played game.
Very even,
could have went either way.
And it looked like I think Napoli got fortunate with the penalty and everything.
Oh, it was Callejon that
Callejon, yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's the Champions League. Last season, Napoli, just like Inter, they really okay.
Sorry, Nino's giving me the finger because I was mocking his pronunciation of Callejon.
He'll get it eventually.
I'll get it eventually.
You got to do some voice and speech.
I got to work on
good for Napoli. Unfortunate for Atalanta.
Yeah, it's a terrible
loss.
segue, but we went to Atalanta.
Atalanta's, they just rising stars.
It was their first game in the Champions League.
Just rising stars.
Was it their first game ever in the Champions League?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Ever.
This is almost like a Leicester City kind of story. Not to the extent because they didn't win last year, but they really are the underdogs.
And plus, they don't have a home.
They don't have a home stadium.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it's San Siro, right?
It's in the San Siro.
Okay, so in our first week, I believe we said that it wasn't San Siro, but it's not. It's confirmed.
It's confirmed.
Yeah.
San Siro.
And the thing with them, we're going to talk later in the podcast. I had a point to make about their attack, how much I like their attack. But then, and Anthony was bringing up a lot of stats from the game and how evenly the game was played. At least on paper,
For which game? That
Atalanta
game?
and
let me confirm that.
Because 4-0, right? Like you expect
Dynamo,
a blowout.
Right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, the game, if you look at the stat sheet, was pretty even. It's a lot of leaky goals. The first goal, they lost their assignment completely.
Yeah.
Well, actually, interestingly, they have more possession.
Yeah.
They have more passing. And they had less shots on target, but they had an equal amount of shots.
Yeah.
13 shots.
So
it got a little sloppy going forward.
But interestingly enough, Dynamo, they had goals all throughout the game. 10 minutes, 31 minutes, 42 minutes, 68 minutes.
So they played pretty complete.
So it's not like they all aggregated at the end, so it wasn't a sign of fatigue or anything like that. It was just all through. It was probably little mistakes that Atalanta made all throughout.
And it kind of just built up, and
unfortunately, they let the goals.
little bit of frustration.
Yeah. The second goal, I would say, was the only one where it was out of Atalanta's control. It was a beautiful strike. It kind of swerved into the bottom corner and outside the box. Other than that, really, they lost assignments. It was a header in front of the net that they missed. Right? The first goal, like I said, they had 3 defenders, and they didn't pick up the guy who was making the late run. So I'm thinking that's just simply defensive lapses. You can make the case, Papu Gomez had a late chance, later in the game. This didn't look like they were their complete selves. Maybe it's nerves. It's the first game.
Yeah, first, they're rising stars. But, it's great. We got 4 interesting Italian teams in the Champions League this year.
Well, I do want to touch on Inter. And,
so
I don't want to touch on.
So as the title of our episode,
very sensitive about
same old Juve, brand new Inter. Yeah. Is this true or is it not true?
It's a good debate.
It kind of
right?
follows what people say about Conte and his lack of success in European competitions. Watching from what I saw, Inter was nothing like how they were in Serie A.
Yeah, they had no confidence.
No confidence.
Lazy, unmotivated.
It was like a bunch of headless chickens running in a field. Yeah, and I mean, they're tiring themselves out. They're trying to play a high press game. They're just giving more space. And Slavia, they took full advantage of that. They played it beautiful. They played very well soccer.
And you know what? I will say this. Watching the game, I made the observation that Inter they had their chances, right? It looked like they were controlling the play, but
first 30 minutes, yes, Lautaro.
They
the 96th minute Lukaku open header straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Then there was a late free kick that went off the crossbar.
Right. That was Sensi has been he's been impressing me on set pieces. Corners he needs a little bit more curve and he needs to put a little bit more height in it, but free kick wise,
Sensi's very exciting.
He could put so much spin and dip on that ball. He can pick
spin and dip.
He can pick the short post, near post perfectly, just under the bar. He did it twice actually. The Udinese game. just skimmed the bar
Right,
again.
right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm lucky. Luckily, Barella scored. I mean, that was a weird turn for him to get the volley.
Yeah.
In my opinion, we didn't deserve to win. I mean, Brozovic didn't have much of a good game. It was like he was scared to be involved in the play. He was scared to have the ball at his feet. You can tell he wasn't comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Gagliardini was put in the lineup. I think him and Brozovic are the same player in terms of they like to absorb pressure. Yeah. I mean, they don't feel the necessity to give the ball away when they know someone is pressing them.
Yeah.
They like to hold on to it, turn their body so it's facing towards the play, and try and look for open options. And I mean, sometimes they hold the ball too long, which is a problem I see with Sensi as well.
Yeah.
We hold the ball on too long. We get caught up. There's no space. We should have played it earlier. Didn't do so. We lose the ball. Slavia had a great counterattack. I don't remember the striker's name, but he was very pacey, and he gave
the black guy? Or the middle, the center striker.
The center striker.
Yeah, he was very good.
He gave Skriniar a little bit of a...
The left wing was Alianke?
Yes.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Who got the goal though? Was it Alianke?
No. Yeah, it was the...
it was a center strike.
I forgot his name. Okay. Yes. But the goal was also Brozovic's fault. I mean, balls played down the right side. De Vrij should have pressed a little bit more, kind of jockeyed in a situation where...
How do you say his name?
Who?
De Vrij?
De Vrij? Yeah.
I said De Vrij.
No, you said De Vrij.
I didn't hear
I said the fridge. I heard the fridge.
Okay, anyway, De Vrij.
all I know is that if Inter played the same way they did against Udinese,
what?
Which they should have. They should have played the same. But I don't think they want to go far in Champions League.
They want to win.
It's not a voluntary thing. Everyone wants to go far in the Champions League.
Well,
he just had a bad game.
Played, I saw it on.
You know what it is? Here's my thought.
The midfield wasn't there. The goal. Brozovic sliding in, and because he slid in, he kept the man on side, and he got the rebound. Handanovic made a great reflex save, but I mean he couldn't cover up for it.
When I look at Juve playing, when I saw the Juve Fiorentina game, and I apologize, I have a cold. I said, "What the hell's wrong with Juve?" And that's why I knew that the caption for this the title for that so right away. Same old Juve, because that Juve Fiorentina game was like the same old Juve.
Yeah,
it was
Allegri was coaching.
It was the Juve from the end of last season.
Okay,
and against Ajax. It was the Juve against Ajax.
To the madness, though, because they had to rest. They wanted to rest for the champion. They're playing Atletico this week, man. Good team. One of the probably top contenders for winning the Champions League.
Before we get into
you were saying something about João Felix.
Before we get into that, I want to make a point about Conte. Okay, so and it kind of leads into Juve because Juve.
He has nice hair.
Well, he has beautiful hair. It's fake.
I love the passion.
I want to get into this. So Conte, he was one of the top choices for Juve's coaching job, right?
He was a former Juve coach.
Yeah, but he was going to be rehired, and
he wasn't going to go back because you guys weren't going to allocate the money he wanted.
No, but he was an option.
He was
never an option.
One thing about him is that he wins Serie A, and that's why I kind of thought maybe Inter has a chance this year.
They're all in his first season as well.
No, even with Juve was second and third year, but
early on.
But his job in the Champions League. Okay, let me get this point. When he's in the Champions League, for some reason, he just lacks that tactical versatility, and I
think it's pressure that builds up on him.
I don't think it's pressure. I think he just doesn't have the tactics for a European competition. I think that when you're in Serie A,
he doesn't adapt his play style to the other teams across Europe.
Listen. In Europe, your game is all about speed and adaptation, and you're facing different opponents.
He lacks adaptation.
Yeah, so when you're in Serie A, every single team plays slow, pragmatic football, even to this day, including Conte's Juve, Sarri's Juve.
It's starting to change a little.
It's starting to change,
seeing little fluctuations with it.
But why are they 3-0 in Serie A and they play a game like that? I don't think it's because they don't want to win. I think they just simply don't have that tactical ability when they get to the game. I think it's just something.
They're running around like chickens.
They have no real plan against this team.
I think differentiates a world-class coach from any ordinary coach is the ability to adapt in-game.
Yeah.
Based on what you're observing from the game, that's where you're going to tell your players what to do. Switch the formation. Do something that's going to inspire them at the halfway
But then
mark.
conversely, though, you get a guy like Zidane, who many people would say is not the most tactical coach, and he wins 3 straight Champions Leagues.
Can you say it's because of him, or can you just say he had more to work with?
He had less to work with. I don't think that Real Madrid team.
Well, look at what Real Madrid did today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're a mess. So let's be honest.
Round of applause for Di Maria.
Di Maria doubles. You got a double.
Yeah,
Who scored the third?
He came clutch when
I can't
Mbappe
remember.
and
I'll check right
Neymar
now.
weren't there. He picked up. It was great to see Keylor Navas, Di Maria win against their former team.
I don't know how to say that name.
Let's see.
Munier.
He's the guy. Actually, he was gonna go to Juve, and they
was
deal
gonna
didn't go
yeah.
through. Juve wanted to keep Tashilio. That's why he's a special player. So anyway, I want to get into Juve, and the first thing is I will say, subjectively, Joao Felix to me is one of the top 2 or 3 talents in world football, at least in terms of pure ability.
Do you think that this is really early to say? I mean, how many people have been saying that about particular players and they've gone bad? I mean, the guy's got a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, but he's delivering.
He's delivering
so far.
But once he hits his technical ability, like his skill on the ball, like his movement, like everything's good. These other players that come in, it's like, oh yeah, this guy's good. He's just good at shooting, or he's just good at like he's got pace. It's not.
So you're saying he's more of an all-rounded attacker.
When I saw him score those goals in the the friendly game in the summer or whatever.
Yeah.
That was just. It
looked
like it was like no.
But I'll make a point about that.
He played good against the MLS.
Okay, in the MLS All-Star, they had a skills competition, right? This is where I really saw how good he is.
It just comes naturally.
No, okay, he had Wayne Rooney there. He had Nani there. He had Carlos Vela. Very good players, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden, this kid comes up and literally he's doing things that these guys can't do. Like he's just blowing them away in the skills competition, which that's your pure skill, your skills competition,
shitty haircut,
right? And he comes in.
Kid.
If anyone's the next Ronaldo, it's this guy. I really believe.
Yeah.
Portuguese as well, right?
Yeah.
He wears the number 7, I believe. For
yeah.
I mean, look at the comparisons. I mean, but
their game style are completely too different. He's more technical. I think he's a good replacement for Griezmann. He's gonna be better. He's gonna supplement Diego Costa well, but he's also had a positive effect on Thomas Lemar.
I thought Diego Costa would get a red today.
I think that every single time.
Because he got that yellow right when he got on the ref's face. I was just waiting for it. I was waiting for him to keep talking.
With that face,
did Atletico play Thomas Lemar?
Good question.
Lamar started.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Lamar.
Yeah. He played pretty good. They subbed him off for, I think it was Vitolo.
He's like if Kingsley Coleman was actually a good player. Yeah. So the thing about Felix though is also he can play on the wing. He play in the middle. He's kind of like the modern footballer, right?
Natural.
Yeah. And also with him too, though, Ronaldo when he was coming up, he had the pace, and Ronaldo you can say is almost like a natural striker.
Ronaldo had more of a desire to score. I think.
Yeah, you can make that case. Yeah.
He has more of a desire just to be more creative. I think he wants to take on a different role.
But then you see a guy like Messi. You see a guy like Messi who's also creative, but then he scores like 30, 40
goals. But Messi's incomparable to anyone.
I'm not comparing Joao Felix to Messi, but
at this moment, Messi is incomparable to anyone. You can't compare.
I would agree with that. Yeah, in terms of pure skill
at this moment, but I feel like in the foreseeable future, with the amount of talent that's developing, I think someone could potentially, but not guaranteed, maybe be around his level, even killing Mbappe too.
We can have a whole podcast on a debate between like Mbappe versus Joao Felix.
I like Mbappe.
Who's gonna be the next one?
smart attacker.
Mbappe didn't play today though.
He's injured.
Oh, he's injured, eh?
Yeah. A little bit of that Neymar syndrome that's going through PSG.
Neymar is another topic. He wasn't playing either.
He was suspended.
Oh no,
he's suspended. Yeah, that's right.
I was gonna say something about Juve.
We should have to talk about the Juve.
We have to talk about Juve. First of all, Juve Fiorentina, garbage.
Evenly.
That was upset.
Evenly game. I like the way Polgar played. Fiorentina center mid, a little bit more aggressive.
I don't care about Fiorentina because at the end of the day, Juve, the way they played, anyone could have played well against them. Like for instance, when you look at a chess match, right, and you put all the pieces on the board, then you just leave them in that spot. That's how Juve look like. They're just there.
Yeah,
they look like these glasses.
There was 10 pylons on the field, and Szczesny was saving their ass.
Yeah, basically.
100%. Yeah.
And it's weird. Like we kind of at the beginning last week or whatever.
Higuain had a good game as well.
Higuain's doing amazing.
So wait, what's going on with Dybala though? He's not playing a whole ton.
He's not starting anything.
No,
he's
not
starting at all.
He's only gotten one game.
What's
off
the
bench.
update? What's the scoop on Douglas Costa?
Douglas. Yeah, what's the update on
Said
him?
it right though. That in the Portuguese, he is Brazilian.
I think he's out
It is
for.
Douglas.
I think he's out for
a couple of weeks.
He got injured, right?
Yeah.
And Pjanic
he's injured,
too,
unfortunately.
a little bit. And
Pjanic he played today though. Like
he did.
Yeah, he played most.
Who else did you guys have an injury? Was it Danilo? Danilo played today.
No,
Decilio.
That's our best right back.
Their best right back.
Rest in peace.
The next Zambrotta. It's funny when he was coming up through Milan. He was supposed to be the next Zambrotta. I remember. Allegri loved him too, and then.
Yeah, but how many people came from Milan? We're supposed to be big people.
Yeah,
they have a horrible player development.
Well, they have that number 9
They're
curse.
just
ever since people Inzaghi, they haven't had that.
Piatek can do something. I mean, he finally scored.
Piatek's good.
Yeah, he's good, but he's in a bit of a.
He's in a bit of a purple patch right now.
Yeah. But he's got potential.
So thoughts on Juve versus Atletico?
So all I gotta say is that Cuadrado first goal. Absolute stunner.
I didn't expect that.
Absolute stunner with the left foot, top left bin. So
he doesn't score with his right foot, let alone his left.
No,
foot.
That was no. Usually it's gonna go to the moon when he kicks.
He's had some class goals in the Champions League.
Yeah,
2015 against.
He turns on in the Champions League.
2015 against Bayern Munich. When Morata made that.
Look at Inter fan picking out.
Because he was watching Juve the whole time. Because what was Inter doing?
We were talking about this before, and let us know what you think. But do you think if you are a Serie A fan and you're watching Italian teams in the Champions League, do you not want them to do well?
No.
To be honest, I was rooting for Slavia.
Yeah. No, it depends. It's all based on the context.
I was rooting for Slavia simply because Inter was playing like garbage and Slavia was playing well. I'm like this because I'm very objective. So I go, this team, Slavia, deserves to win.
Let me give you an example.
That's also subjective.
Nino, let me give you an example. Okay.
Yeah, that's also subjective. You're right. You're absolutely right about
Last year, Inter and Napoli were doing garbage in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Garbage. They both had a chance to win their group, and they both blew it, right?
I'm
very
happy that Dortmund and Barca tied, though I would be more happier if Barcelona lost.
Yeah.
But Ter Stegen had to save.
No, but what I'm saying is last year when Inter and Napoli were literally just wasting their chances, I eventually started rooting against them. Like, screw these guys. If they're not actually going to try, I'd rather have another team in there to represent Serie A. Juve, considering the fact that Juve didn't go too far,
Juve's got to win it, bro.
They at least got through the group stage and everything.
They put up a fight.
Buffon is not going to win.
He has to win the CL.
He is not gonna win it.
He'll win it as a.
He's gonna have the
he's gonna have an empty trophy case
with the CL
titled.
No, you know what?
UCL.
He'll win it as a
director,
a management member or something. No, I have a feeling Buffon's gonna go into politics. I really get that vibe. He's gonna be the next
prime minister of Italy.
I mean, I can see that. He's very distinguished.
He's got a good voice.
He's a very deep voice.
He's very good at talking.
Loves the people.
Okay, and one issue though about Juve is that late goal against them. They had the game in their hands. They were 2-0.
The second
beautiful goal by Matuidi, right?
Yeah, Matuidi, very good. That header was a monstrous header.
Yeah.
That was like a precision strike.
It was a good run, and then powerful header.
Sandro and Matuidi. Sandro's looking
even got a hand to it.
Yeah. Beautiful curve,
I'm very impressed with Sandro this year. He's kind of getting back to the way he was before. That's what you expect.
I was screaming at the end because Ronaldo almost won it.
Oh, he sliced that ball just by the post.
Lukaku almost won it too.
Okay, we're not talking about Lukaku.
96. Imagine 92nd goal, 96-minute goal.
Listen,
I was ready to just start
celebrating. Lukaku is but a mound of dirt compared to how Ronaldo was moving and the way he played.
Ronaldo looked like he was 22 years old.
Lukaku had a little. He had trouble today.
Listen, like a mound of mud on the ground, like he was immobile.
When Lukaku has to go into midfield to collect the ball and try and go around three players, something's wrong. No, it's not his fault though. is something wrong tactically? Why is he in the midfield trying to collect the ball? He should be as close to net as possible.
No, he needs to be stuck to that last man.
Yeah,
stuck.
Just
in all honesty,
I would touch Anthony, but he's
the
sick.
Slavia defender was doing a very good job marking Lukaku.
They did a better job than Inter did marking.
Yeah, but they left Lautaro wide open a lot. He had great chances. I'm really disappointed he couldn't capitalize.
Yeah,
a lot of good
he
shots.
Almost had it. Yeah, he almost
and
had
one,
it.
I think 2 of them with his left outside the box just skimmed the near post.
So okay, we're gonna move on from this, but I do
want
want
to
to
talk about the Juve game still, man. Like this is a
Juve.
That was
Next
a great
topic.
Yeah, but how about Dybala when he came in the game? Because he hasn't done much in early in the season, but he had a couple of really good moves. Anthony even made that observation.
Very good moves in the box. Yeah, he went past like those 3 defenders, like it was perfect.
He almost set up a goal there.
He almost set up a goal. There's no one at the end of the pass, but it was really good. You know what? I feel bad for Dybala. Poor guy.
Do you think this game is gonna change perspectives?
No.
Do you think this is going to have a little bit of a
if he
difference?
came off
Sarri's choice,
if he came off the bench and put it in the back of the net, maybe then we could talk about.
I just think they're freezing him out a little bit. They tried to sell him, they couldn't get the deal done, and now Sarri's just like, he's not my player. Like he's saying, he's telling Juve, listen, I just don't want him.
Now, do you think he's not Sadi's player, or he just doesn't want him with Ronaldo, knowing?
But that's partly the reason.
They don't coordinate.
Yeah. That's partly the reason, because he, it's obvious that.
Do you think if without a Ronaldo, how do you think Sadi would play Dybala?
He would play him.
He'd probably be Ronaldo's type of role, that like loose position where he can kind of play anywhere up top.
Yeah,
I think he'd be a little bit false nine. And a lot of the scoring pressure is going to be put on Higuain. But, I mean, Higuain, although he's not scoring, he's creating chances. He supplements Ronaldo well. He's kind of gelled in. I think he is that kind of striker that goes perfectly with Ronaldo. Yeah. And, I mean, they played together at Real Madrid for a short duration of time.
Yeah. The thing was, okay, I'll be honest. A couple years ago when Higuain and Dybala were having their big seasons. So Higuain came in 2016, right? That season they went to the final. So when Higuain was there, partnered Dybala, and both of them, for 2 seasons, Dybala would have a big year. The following year, Higuain had a big year, or vice versa. But when they were together, they were a solid duo. Then you bring in Ronaldo, and Michael was saying it earlier. He might be a main reason why that attack. It just seems a little bit off. Even like. I don't know. Higuain might be good because he plays a little more of a versatile Mandzukic type role where he can hold the ball up. He's not gonna, at this point, he's just happy to be there.
He's got technical.
He's got really technical. Like, and it's just that when Mandzukic was there with Ronaldo last year, you saw that Mandzukic was that selfless player, but Ronaldo. Yeah. When he was with Benzema at Real Madrid, he had that guy who could also carry a bit of the.
But Ronaldo played on the wing.
Too. He played on the wing, but Benzema would score goals too.
Ronaldo was at the top of the line.
No, he was on the left side too. But you can make the case. He makes the case. You can make the case. He didn't even cut. He didn't even cut inside too much. He was always mostly on the left side. He didn't have the freedom he has this year. The first game of the season.
Way more now.
First game of the season, we noticed that Ronaldo was on the right, in the middle, the left. He was staying. He was a little bit of a false nine.
That's like the Saudi tactic. He kind of gave him that like
free roam.
Yeah. He said in his press conference, he goes, "Everybody's playing defense, total defense, except for Ronaldo. He's gonna move around, and that's the way Messi plays with Barcelona." But that works because that's how superstars are supposed to play. Because you want them to have as much of an opportunity to score.
Yeah, but you don't want to isolate them from the team. You don't want that flow.
But he's
to be
Ronaldo.
Disrupted.
That's
the problem.
Inter doesn't have a guy like that. It never
has. You can't say it's Ronaldo. It's Messi.
Yeah.
Does that really make it justifiable though? Soccer is a team sport. You got 11 people on the field. You can't give the sole responsibility to the one person.
Unless you're a guy like a Ronaldo or Messi.
Who's
going to score you 30, 40 goals.
He knows what he's doing. Like he knows that like if he needs someone, he'll able to stop, hold the play for a bit.
There's been Juve had a rough season last year with Ronaldo. I mean, nothing kind of cooperated. When the year before, Dybala hit 30 goals. Higuain was in the high 20s in all competitions. I think you guys gelled a lot nicer. Ronaldo's nice. He's a nice addition. I mean, he's a name. He's a big name.
Yeah.
And I mean, he performs in European. He performs in all competitions, But I mean, I don't think it was your best transfer. I don't think it was necessary.
It's still too early.
It's only been one game in. And look, we have a
33,
lot of guys on the roster though. Look at all the guys we have. To be honest.
Yeah.
What other attackers do you think can fulfill the role of playing with Ronaldo well?
Higuain.
Higuain is doing
except
well.
Except for Higuain. If you're gonna put Ronaldo,
Bernardeschi.
Yeah, last year Bernardeschi
you can put
Ronaldo
too.
Yeah.
very good together.
Bernardeschi is not the
very
player.
selfless.
Yeah, he's very selfless.
He'll pass before he shoots.
And Bernardeschi, the best game he ever played. I want to make that
the Atletico one with Ronaldo.
He was a world class player,
Unreal.
and even Andrea Pirlo. There was an interview with him.
Yeah.
And he said that Bernardeschi was world class, and what made him world class is that every single scoring position or play or any attack that Juve had, Bernardeschi, like basically the attack went through him. He started on the right side, moved to the left.
Yeah.
At one point, he carried the ball in, cut on the inside, made a perfect pass to Ronaldo for the first goal. He was involved in every single goal.
So do you guys like seeing Douglas Costa playing on that right field?
I love Douglas Costa
Douglas
too.
Costa's amazing.
The only thing for me is that I think the only thing that Juve's attack is
More
missing
selfish.
the only thing they're missing really is a guy who can do what Higuain does, hold the ball up and be selfless and give Ronaldo the ball, but also score. And that's what Benzema did.
Well, I hope Dybala should fill that spot.
He should.
Because he can
but
score.
Desari or
And he can hold the
Nedved
ball.
or Paratici
Yeah,
really
but
think that he can.
yeah,
I don't know,
but
right?
how does Sadi like to do his attack? He likes to bring it really wide, and either cut in or cross it in.
He's basically Pep Guardiola. Tiki-taka.
Exactly.
A lot of triangles. Not tiki-taka. It's a lot of triangles. It's a lot of movement. It's a lot of get everybody involved in the play.
There's not a lot of diversity. I think
there is.
They revert to the same.
Compared to when Allegri was.
In terms of playing your same formation. Usually
no, not
plays,
the same formation, but I'm just saying the same style of football, and he loves to play
it's
it
Sarri
wide.
ball, right? That's his style.
Sarri ball is wide. That's a
wide.
majority of it.
But it's
very limited time in the middle. I think that's how he likes it.
It's wide, but it's also everybody presses towards the ball carrier on the opposing team.
It's a high press.
It's a high press.
So yeah, if you want to compare the Fiorentina game compared to today's game against Atletico, Juve was pressing a lot more today.
You know what I think though?
And you see it Fiorentina. Not 1 minute of the game was the entire team pushing up, attacking. You'd see one guy go up, Ronaldo here, Higuain going up. But we weren't pressing as a team. Today, you can see where they were actually doing that, and it was 1,000 times better.
Which shows you a real tactical laziness, and that's you saw a lot of that last year with Allegri. A lot of tactical laziness in games that you think wouldn't matter, and to the extent, maybe it didn't matter because they won Serie A after. But those Serie A games prepare you for Champions League games. Yeah. It's like practice. What you do in practice translates to the game, right? So if you're gonna take a whole season off like PSG does. And they don't, because they have no competition, so they're beating teams 6-0 every game.
Yeah.
But then they come
adapt a different style of play, right?
You gotta adapt, and one thing about Serie A teams and why I was gonna make the case that Napoli might be the best suited to go far this year in Champions League because of Ancelotti, obviously. I think it's that you have to adapt to different variations in speed and different styles. Most of the teams are gonna attack you. Doesn't matter who you are, they're going to attack you. The smallest teams, too. In Serie A, most teams, it's starting to change now, but most teams will just park the bus and sit back, right? So
I feel, very subjectively, that if you want to have high success, you need to start playing more team press, high press games.
Ajax did that last year, right?
You can't.
Ajax is doing good, too, though.
Ajax is
so
2-0 win.
2-0 win, yeah. They're doing really good so far.
So
I love David Neres as a player.
Very good player.
Very technical.
Yeah.
Very skillful.
High quality player.
Very surprised he signed the new deal there. I thought he was. I thought he was a goner for sure.
I thought it was gonna be an Ajax exodus. All these players are going down.
Yeah, I'm happy.
They signed.
Who left? De Jong left.
De Ligt.
But they got Quincy.
One more guy, no?
Van de Beek left, I think.
Onana stayed, right? The goalkeeper stayed.
Yeah,
Onana
stayed.
They're Casper Dolberg went to Nice.
Yeah, but Dolberg to me, he wasn't a breakout player.
Yeah,
but I mean, he can be now with.
He could be. I mean,
he was good.
They got Quincy Promise, who I think is really good too.
Very good player, very fast.
And who went to Monaco? Which young player went to Monaco?
Ben Yedder.
Yeah,
Ben Yedder, right?
Yeah, he went from Sevilla.
Yeah,
Sevilla to Monaco. He's an underrated striker.
He's scoring a lot. He had a 2-goal performance.
And there was rumors
French
that
national, no?
I believe so, yeah. Or that French team is so deep, I don't think he makes it, which is crazy. That's how deep they are.
You know what? The next World Cup, France still has a good chance.
France to me is number one. You want to talk about Belgium, but
I think right now the top team is the Netherlands.
Well, they have the best. They have the best defensive duo in
great balance.
Who is it? It's Delict
and
Van Dijk.
No, but then you also have De Vrij too as like a third option.
Yeah, I mean they could play 3 in the back.
The only thing they're missing is a striker. They don't have a Van Persie. They don't have
They have Depay, but he's more of a center forward. He's more of a false nine.
Yeah, but he's playing for he's at Lyon or Marseille. He's at Lyon.
Depay's alright.
He's a good player. I think he's really good.
He didn't make it at Manchester United, but there was so much pressure on him. Didn't they give him the number 7 to take over for Ronaldo, and he just didn't do anything?
The number 7 curse look at Alexis Sanchez, who almost scored against Udinese.
I was going to mention that. You want to? You know what?
Oh my god!
On that note,
I was so excited. I don't know how. Credit to the keeper for getting his right hand on it.
Yeah,
but,
you know what? That Udinese goalkeeper.
It was a bad cross by Candreva. Defender slips. Open. Good run from Sanchez. He had the whole net and just.
That game could have been easily.
The hand of God.
Yeah, that could have been easily been a 2-0, 3-0.
You know what?
Game.
Let's segue into Serie A.
What's the goalkeeper's name? Udinese goalkeeper.
Good question.
I don't know.
Was it Simone Scuffet who went in net?
I don't know.
He's a young talent, really.
I made a note of it.
People have been saying that for a while.
Yeah, he did very good.
He's 25, yeah.
Even Lasagna had a nice try, too.
What about what are your thoughts on Rodrigo De Paul's red card?
Okay.
Necessary or uncalled for?
Necessary. No, it was a necessary.
Uncalled for on his part.
Uncalled for on his part. It was a dumb move.
Immaturity right there. When I get it. Cantilleva kind of instigated it. I thought the tackle was clean.
Yeah. Even so, though, it was over what was said between them.
Yeah, Cantilleva said, "Get up, stop being a baby," and then
you can't touch the opponent's head.
The slap, right?
It was a slap. You can't do that in front of the ref.
There's nothing nice slap. That was a nice slap. It was a beautiful slap.
I mean, there's no event that can make something like that justifiable.
No,
I mean, that's just you're asking for something when you're gonna go.
Okay, I have a couple questions. I have a couple questions regarding this game. First of all,
he really just really got.
That was a good slap.
Really good wrist flexion from that.
Nino, I gotta ask you this question.
I want to watch it again. I'm gonna watch it.
Is Sensi a star in the making?
Yes.
You know what?
Because I wasn't a big fan before, but he's trying to grow on me, and he has a
lot. He had the mentality of Cassano when he was with Sassuolo. He never cared. He didn't take practice seriously.
Cassano was a unique person, though. Yes, he was very unique.
Yeah. Very unique. You can say quote unquote unique. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily describe it like that. I more or less say like idiotic. But I mean, can
Sensi be a guy who, like the Italian national team, can have like as a starter? Inter can have as a starter for many years.
Sensi has developed.
That was such a good slap.
Look at the wrist flexion, like beauty. But anyways, going back to the Sensi topic, I mean, the first couple games he's put on quite a show.
He's Conte's man.
He is Conte's man. He's the perfect balance of just creativity. He's good defensively as well. He's a high press kind of player.
Wasn't too expensive. They got rid of Nangolan.
Well, you know what? The funny thing is, a lot of people were questioning that initial transfer. They're saying you're gonna have an on and off kind of player. Stop watching the slap, okay?
Nino can confirm this. At the start of the season before, Nino was going crazy about Sensi, and I'm just roasting him for him.
I'm roasting him too. I'm like, who is this guy? He played for Sassuolo before.
It was a $16 million transfer, and they're saying, okay, look at Conte. This guy's just going to buy anyone in the Serie A. No one has proved himself more.
No, it wasn't Conte. Beppe Marotta. He's the guy who he brought Vidal to Juve. He brought all those guys. He brought a free Pogba there and everything. So you expect that he's going to get these diamonds in the rough like a Sensi for $16 million, right?
Can we just talk about his free kick ability?
Beautiful.
I mean, my God.
Is he the first?
He's hit the cross.
He's got
a shot. He has a volley. That first game. The first game, the volley.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable.
Oh yeah, that was a great volley.
He scored some.
He's got a wicked shot outside the box.
Okay, so I want
a wicked shot. He's a great player, and so is Nicolo Barella.
I want to ask you this question.
Also,
Berardi too. But before we get to that, are Inter for real this year? I want to go around the table because I mean. I don't want to just ask him, Nino, because he's gonna say, "Yeah, of course
they
are until December every year," and then they got lucky. Juve got lucky. No, honestly,
I think
are they contenders to 3-0?
Yep,
right?
Yep, and it all starts off with management. I mean, changing management, Pepe Marotta going for Antonio Conte.
I have something to say about this.
Okay, go ahead.
All right,
Am I allowed to talk?
You are.
You're
I
allowed
give
to
you
talk.
permission.
So this was
Permission taken
Juve
away.
is going to be really focused on Champions League.
Yeah.
They're going to try as much as they can to win Serie A, but it's not their main thing.
No, they won 9 in a row.
So if Inter wins Serie A, it's simply because Juve.
Oh, you guys are all full of it.
Listen, it's going to be a tight race, but Inter...
You can tell Anthony's sick. He's kind of his thinking's a little off here.
It's okay.
We all know your frontal lobe is a little distraught right now.
Let's be honest. So in the past, Juve wouldn't prioritize Serie A and still win the league. This year, you have Napoli with that team, and you have Irving Lozano, and you have Ancelotti.
The legend.
Napoli's another contender for Serie A.
Napoli, I'm very impressed with them so far, even though they lack a defense.
How about Roma? What do you think of Mkhitaryan?
That game was
4-2. Mkhitaryan had his debut goal, right?
3 goals in the first 33 minutes, I believe. What do you think?
And you know what, Sassuolo, I know they lost, but Berardi had an amazing game.
I have a question though. Is this his breakout season? He was close to going to Inter one year. He was close to going to Juve. Instead, Juve took Bernardeschi. Inter went for Candreva or somebody. Was it Candreva instead of Berardi? Sure Berardi stayed, and he became the captain of Sassuolo. He's still young, but is this his breakout year? He's got 5 goals. He's the leading scorer in the league.
A lot of people said the same thing about Nicola Sansone. And where is he now? I think he's with Bologna.
Yeah, but Sansone's got a couple of goals this season.
He's
and
got
Bologna's been doing
but they're
well.
saying the same. They said the same thing. Yeah.
But have you seen? Okay,
I've seen Berardi.
I have to owe Berardi. He's not listening to the podcast, by the way, Berardi. But I have to. I don't
think he'd understand that anyway.
No, but honestly, I want to offer an apology because in the previous podcast I bashed him and Immobile, rightfully so. Even though he's been scoring, I just still don't like him as a player. But Berardi, he's impressing me. He's doing a lot of good things this season. A lot of quality. Now he's playing for a team in Sassuolo that could challenge for top 5 or 6, along with Torino, along with Atalanta. There's about 6 or 7 teams in that mix. Brescia. And he might be the. But I want to talk about Brescia later because they blew it.
Yeah.
But the thing about it,
they had a good game though.
So I think Sassuolo with him as the creative spark, he's the captain. I think they can do.
Who's their number 9? I always forget his name.
So I'm just looking at the table here for Serie A, and Bologna's in second.
I mean, okay, it's hard to ask who's
great to see
so much variability. I love that. I want to see that more often.
I mean, it looks pretty good to me.
Look, Napoli, Atalanta, Torino's doing good too.
Yeah, it's only 3 games, but you can start to you start to tell around December, January.
You know what?
That's when Inter goes down to 5th place
every year.
I hear it all the time.
So that's the question: are they contenders? And another question I have is: are Roma contenders for top 4?
No,
because look where they are. They have Dzeko. He signed a new contract. He's been scoring. Mkhitaryan looks like a new guy. It's only been 1
What
game.
about defensively? How much of a mess are they defensively? Yeah?
How much of a mess are Napoli? How much of a mess are Juve defensively? How much of a mess are Brescia?
Fazio cannot run a back line by himself.
Yeah, I think Roma's not at that level anymore to get to that top 4.
I like the upgrade in the net. Paul Gomez was a great keeper when he played for Real Betis.
Do you like the new coach though? Do you like the new coach, Fonseca, Paulo Fonseca? They got rid of all the guys from Rome. They're all gone. De Rossi's gone.
Yeah,
the coach, De Francesco's gone. Totti's gone. Totti's gone. The whole team. And and who's the sporting director? I think it's I forget. I gotta look it up. But he brought in Fonseca, and he brought in his guys. So
in all honesty, everything that's been said, it's too early to tell. Really,
it's all too early. But it makes for good banter.
It makes for good speculation. Absolutely. Look, AC Milan looked terrible.
What about
and same with Lazio.
What about
AC Milan have problems in their mid? That's huge. Defense. They have a good defensive core, but
because Monchi.
I don't like Paqueta. I don't like him as a player.
Who's that?
Their mid, Paqueta.
Oh, Paqueta.
I don't like him as a mid. He's still stuck in his Brazilian league ways.
Pataki's the sporting director of Roma.
Is he?
Yeah, Monchi left. Monchi didn't do a good
job.
He
went back to Sevilla.
And who was sold? Schick was. They got rid of Schick. They got rid of Nzonzi. All the guys that he brought in, they basically said, "Okay, bye." Juve almost signed Schick and actually signed him. They were on the dotted line.
And then he had his for the medical and
he failed the medical, and then Juve's like, "Okay, we don't want you anymore."
You aren't able to sign him if you fail the medical.
You can't.
Yeah, but Juve could have okay, let's do another medical or something.
They can always redo it.
They can always redo it, and then they said, "You know what? something about him that we don't like, and ever since he's been nothing. And where is he? Bundesliga now, or
I'm not even sure. I think he went over
he's
to.
greatly injury prone.
I don't even know.
Greatly.
So I want to talk about Spal versus Lazio because there's something wrong with Lazio this year. They're always a contender. They're always up there.
Yeah.
But
that was a tough game.
and also want to talk about Petagna too because he's one of those underrated strikers, like a Berardi, and like if you want to say
Petagna's older though,
no.
What is he? 25? I gotta look that up.
He's
he's good friends with Sefera Basta, eh?
Is he really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Sorry, for those who don't know, Sefera Basta is an Italian trap star.
He's
who's generally disliked by most
I would say,
mature Italians.
Yeah, the young people.
The young people like him, like us.
So what's wrong with Lazio? Have they won a game this year? Yeah, Petagna's 24.
Yeah, they won their first game.
24. He looks
Did
like
they win their
30.
first game? They're 1-1-1, right?
1-1-1. They got 4 points.
I don't know. Just something about them this year. I just don't like. You can make the case. Other podcasts have also been making the case that Milinkovic Savic might not be the player that a lot of people thought he would
Luis
be.
Alberto he's picking up quite the responsibility as well after his transfer.
He's got the load of attack on him, right? So, I mean, I don't know with Lazio. Like Spal, all credit to them. I believe they're playing at home, right?
I thought
it wasn't a bad game.
It wasn't a bad game, no.
Same with Lazio. They played pretty decent.
You know what it is? You said this last podcast as well when I was talking about whether the high scoring Italian league is due to defensive mistakes.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're early on in the season. We're 3 games in.
Yeah, and
right.
one Champions League game. It's really there's not much.
There's not much you can kind of put behind and kind of use that to explain Roma's playing style
or Lazio
Lazio
or AC Milan. All these teams really.
It's early on. It's too early to say.
Yeah.
I mean, you still gotta let these teams.
Fiorentina too, yeah.
If you know what, Fiorentina, although they've been losing,
they're working.
They're working.
Hard.
They're putting teams.
They just got some bad luck.
They had. Let's be honest here. Napoli was their first game. They tied 4.
They have tough teams.
They had a couple of first
and
games, and they kept with it.
And they drew with Juve, and that's as much as you want to say that was a terrible game.
It was a terrible game on Juventus' part, but a great game on Fiorentina.
If you're a Fiorentina fan, you're saying that's a great result. Yeah. 2-0 against Juve.
You can feel kind of unlucky in both the Napoli and the Juve game, thinking that I feel like they both could have won both of those games, or at least tied the Napoli game.
I think so.
They definitely should have won the Juve game. I think
you would expect Juve to win against Fiorentina.
But just the way they played, I think Fiorentina was a lot better than Juve.
I want to talk about Atalanta versus Genoa. Atalanta won. I have
that goal by
Zapata's goal was beautiful.
What a goal, man!
Honestly, that was my most favorite goal of this match.
No, but I have to make a little statement here. It's a bit of it's a bit of a bold statement, and Galati thinks I'm crazy. I will go out on a limb and say that Atalanta with Luis Muriel, Zapata, and Papu Gomez have arguably the best attack in Serie A. That trident is arguably the best in Serie A at this moment in time. Muriel is second.
Ronaldo
Yeah, but no, not individual players. Not individual players. Just when you put them all together.
Like in terms of they mesh together, they play well together.
Yeah, I think the chemistry is very good.
I've been waiting for so long to see Zapata and Muriel play together. They've been two separate players that are they're both bulldogs. Muriel has 3 goals, I think, this year. Zapata.
Didn't they play together with Udinese or?
Did they play together?
No, Muriel played for Fiorentina.
He also played for Udinese too before he went to Sevilla.
That's a good question. I want to look that up actually.
And Zapata he played for Udinese as well.
So that attack, and then you have Papu Gomez, you have Ilicic too. Like there's a lot of great players.
He had a rough game today.
Yeah, I mean, everybody had a rough game for Atalanta, but I like Muriel. To me, he was always one of those guys that moved around team to team, but he always
he struggled with Fiorentina.
He did, but he also scored a share of goals when they needed him, right?
You gotta have those creativity. You have to have that creativity supplementing it. He's a really high work rate player, similar to a Cavani.
Yeah,
very high work rate.
Obviously, I don't want to compare him to Cavani. Cavani's a world class striker. Muriel is like a very good
mediocre player.
Mid to high-ish table Serie A player. But to me, he's not gonna carry a team to a Champions League like Cavani does. I was to be honest, I was always waiting for Cavani to come back to Napoli, but now he's going to He's going to MLS.
Miami.
What do you think of Bologna versus Brescia? 4-3.
Unlucky.
Alfredo Donnarumma scores again.
Two goals.
Which is crazy. He's 28 years old. Is he a
Look at Jamie Vardy. When he had his breakout season, he was 29.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was a top goal scorer in the Serie B too. I think he won Golden Boot in the Serie B.
He was the top goal scorer last season in Serie B.
Okay, but
a lot of promising things from Brescia.
But when Balotelli comes back and they have that duo, Balotelli and Donnarumma, that can also be a contender for one of the tops in Serie A, right? Like
they're gonna be interesting because I feel like Brescia has nothing to lose and they're just throwing everything at every game they're playing right now.
Yeah.
And they're playing great. I'm loving their games. I'm highlighting every single one of their games every week.
But I have an issue with what happened the last game. They lost 4-3. They were up 2-0, I believe.
I think that came down to the second yellow, the red card.
That was a red card, yeah.
And I think because they were down to 10 men.
Was that Sabelli?
I'm not too sure who it was.
Sabelli's looking very promising, huh?
Yeah.
As a defender.
But
have you been noticing Tonali in games?
No.
He's been on and off.
The Milan game was disappointing for Tonali, especially because of all the hype that's behind his name.
He's never played in Serie A before. Yeah, actually, a fun fact: Verratti's never played in Serie A before.
No, he hasn't.
Which is
he went from I think Bari.
No, he went from Pescara.
Pescara.
He was on a Pescara team, I believe, that featured Insigne and Immobile. That was a trio.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I remember Cavani. It was Cavani, Hernandez, and Dybala at Palermo. So all those teams could have, they would have kept their talent.
If Verratti were to come to Serie A,
Juve.
What team? Juve. Legitimately, what team would be his best fit?
Juve. He was a Juventino growing up.
For me, I think it's Napoli. I think he fit into that CDM.
Would he fit in with like Ancelotti's system?
Yeah. He's a complete Ancelotti player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of similar to. I wouldn't say similar to a Busquets because he likes to run around.
He's definitely not a Pirlo. He's more he's like a mix of Xavi-ish type.
Pirlo lets the ball move. He's very stationary.
Yeah.
Verratti likes to run around, a little bit more aggressive.
He's a little more tenacious as a player.
Very more tenacious, but he great creativity. He's great on the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that ball doesn't leave his foot when he's dribbling. No. The ball control on that man's foot is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that who's the Polish guy?
Zielinski?
Yeah, I don't want to say his name.
Zielinski.
That's a little advanced for me.
And to be honest, one of the top young players in Serie A is in that midfield as well. Fabian Ruiz plays for.
He's linked with Bayern Munich.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna stay in Napoli. He's gonna become one of the best.
Yeah, watching the first couple games, he's creating a lot of great chances.
Even last year, he had a breakout season.
Last year was his breakout season.
Yeah. So
really
so we'll see what's gonna happen. Bologna won 4-3, like we said. They're in second place. Take that for what it is, just like Inter. Take it for what it is. But Inter does show signs that they could be a little bit different this year.
Yeah.
Whenever Conte is coaching a Serie A team, there's always a variable.
The problem with Inter was that we had an unbalanced team
last year.
Last year was extremely unbalanced.
But it was more balanced than the year before.
Right,
so
but as of now, I think we're reaching that tip of the iceberg. Until like now or next season, that's when we're gonna get our balance. We're gonna get our equilibrium. We're gonna be the top team in the world.
I don't think so. I think they'll never.
The trouble's coming back, ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing. They bought that trouble.
Mourinho's coming back.
That trouble's never coming.
No, Mourinho's not going to come back to Serie A.
He's going to Real Madrid, I think.
It's not. It's
Real
only going
to got problems.
They have
started on Mourinho.
Hazard's a little bit overweight. He's eating some.
Everyone's injured.
Courtois can't keep his legs closed.
Jovic, they signed him. Then,
and they want to loan him out.
Zidane saw him in one training. He's like, okay, he's gone. Get him out of here.
Milan tried to. AC Milan tried to get him. I'm like, I was looking at the headline thinking, am I reading this right? They just got him for 60 million from Frankfurt. Had a breakout season there, almost 40 goals.
It's a lot of money. Yeah, even in today's transfer market, that were 100 million.
Is a lot.
But in today's transfer market, we're 100 million. Like goes around like
21.
Nothing. He's 21. Yeah. 21.
I mean, like how
he's
like,
young. Yeah.
Like how much does it take for you to drop 60 million on a breakout player who's only 21
and then not play him?
Yeah, but look at the context of breakout with Frankfurt. He didn't break out with Bayern. He didn't break out with Barcelona, right? So there's always like different variables. Jovic. He didn't break out with Bayern or anything. He broke out with Frankfurt. You don't know how he's going to be in a top club. Yeah. Sometimes a guy goes to a top club.
I mean, he's young, right?
He's young, and Real Madrid, they're not necessarily the most functional club right now. Zidane, something's going on with him and the players. Gareth Bale is unhappy.
I feel bad. This guy has had over 200 points over 200 points, and I mean the lack of respect this guy's getting. You know who else is getting a lot of backlash? Luka Modric.
Modric.
Okay, back to Serie A. Who's gonna win the scoring title? I really want to get this out because we have Berardi.
Donnarumma. If he can keep up his pace,
I don't think
I
so.
can.
Is he gonna be this year's Quagliarella?
Donnarumma.
I can.
No.
Donnarumma.
Yes. I said.
There's like 3 of them.
I heard Donnarumma.
No, there's 2. There's Gigi
there's 3 of them,
Donnarumma.
yeah. There's a couple of them.
That's a talented fan. Are they related?
No, they're not related.
Okay, never mind. That's a talented last name. So, yeah, Berardi's up there. Muriel.
Sensi's looking good.
Ronaldo.
Sensi's not going to be the top goal scorer, but I mean, he's going to
not
be
a
up
top
there.
goal scorer.
He's going to be up there.
He might get double digits or something like that. Yeah.
I could see 10. Well, I mean, he's already broke his record.
Yeah. Ronaldo, Lukaku is supposed to, but
25 plus.
I can see Lukaku getting up there, but he's not going to be.
He's not going to be top. I don't think he's going to be top.
Too early to speak, boys. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think he's going to be
too
top.
early to speak. Let the season unfold.
So are there any storylines?
Wait, no. Who do you think are going to be top goal scorer? Let's keep it on the talk.
You actually want to ask me this time? I would say
very intrigued.
You need to go to your Atalanta.
Zapata.
I would say one of Muriel or Zapata is going to be up there. I see Quagliarella dropping off that list just because Sampdoria. We didn't even talk about the last two.
Yeah, they're not doing good now.
Ronaldo's going to be up there, but he's starting slow like he has the last 4 years. It's
okay,
not,
we're
it's
gonna
a
win
trend
Champions
now.
League. It's okay.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
there could be someone who breaks through. I could see Lukaku being there.
Maybe this year
do you see Piatek?
Maybe they'll win the treble.
Piatek?
Piatek?
I don't see it.
Piatek, I have a feeling he's gonna have a bit of a down year with Milan. Milan itself, they're just a team that's not they're not fully clicking on the same level. You know,
the transfer market for Milan wasn't what they needed.
No.
You know what the
but it was better because they got young players. That's a good start.
They got young players, but yeah.
You know what the problem is that they don't know what their formation is yet. And I mean,
But two weeks ago, we were talking about Gianpaolo having a 4-3-2-1 or 4-3-1-2.
Yeah, but he's been fluctuating. Last game, he played 4-3-3.
The difference between coaching a mid to small table team and coaching a big team, or playing for a small team and playing for.
They're gonna try to play more wingers now. They're trying to get Rebic in there.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he has to coach. Saudi always said this, all right, and people mock Saudi for this. They go, "Where's your plan B?" And Saudi goes, "I'd rather perfect my plan A than have a mediocre plan A and a plan B." So if Gianpaolo, he became a great coach, or developed as a great coach. He had Quagliarella obviously, and he had a lot of great players. But with Sampdoria, that formation, the way they played, it was his style. It was distinct to his coaching style. So if you're gonna start switching it up at Milan, just to some reason,
you could say the same thing.
There's nothing's clicking there right now.
But you gotta stick to what got you there. You gotta stick to what made you a great coach. Sarri, he plays Sarri ball. He plays a 4-3-3. You know every role of every player on that team. You know Pjanic's gonna play a certain way, just like Alan played a certain way, and you know the role. Mourinho's very similar too, although he took some time off coaching. I think he wants to try and add some new things to his repertoire. Pep Guardiola too. He's not the most adaptable coach. He hasn't won the Champions League in how many years, right? And he plays that same style, 4-3-3, a full team press. You get your fullbacks who cut inside as midfielders sometimes. You get your goalkeeper playing as a striker. You literally have everybody playing a full offensive fluid style. But when it comes to big game, sometimes he can't adapt like Allegri could adapt when we saw him play against Barcelona a couple years ago.
Allegri had a good run at Juve.
A lot of people talk a lot of bad things about Allegri's tenure at Juve, but in the Champions League, he had a lot of big games.
How many Scudetti did he have? 5?
5 Scudetti. He had.
How many Champions League finals did he have?
2 Champions League finals, I believe. 3 Coppa Italia. Was it 3?
Yeah, I think so. Come on, that's a great CV resume there.
It's incredible.
I'm a big fan of Allegri.
He did. It was time for him to leave, but he did well.
Yeah. His cycle was up after that time, and usually 3 to 5 years for a coach. That's a cycle.
Do you think that there was any better candidate than Sadi?
Yes.
And do you think it's Pep Guardiola?
It
was a factor. It was a factor between Sadi and Pep Guardiola.
You're very excited
thinking
about
back,
Pep.
who I wish would have been the coach?
Conte.
No, Ancelotti.
Ancelotti.
Yeah, I think it was Ancelotti.
Explain.
I just think he's... well, he coached Juve before.
He coached Milan.
No, but he coached Juve before. He never won anything with Juve. But I think with this team, he needed that professionalism that
When did he coach Juve?
It was the 90s or
90s,
late 90s, early 2000s.
He coached Milan in 2006 for one season.
Let's check.
Did he win with Milan?
No. Actually, they did win in 2006.
You know his partner, I think it's his wife or girlfriend, she's from Vancouver, I believe.
No way.
He spends his off seasons in Canada.
So
that's a lot.
No, you can look that up.
So he managed Juve from 99 to 2001.
There you go.
And right after he went to Milan for 8 years.
And he never won anything with Juve, right?
No, it was only like 1 year, one season.
Yeah. And
2 seasons.
Yeah, I believe it was 2.
And Milan for 8 years.
I think Ancelotti would have been the right choice. Guardiola, to me, you look at his record.
Look at that. That's a nice. Look at Ancelotti's CV resume. Look at that. Milan, Chelsea, PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich.
All he needs to do is go to the Prem.
He doesn't need the Prem.
He did Chelsea.
Oh, that's right. He did do Chelsea. Yeah.
It's fun.
He's
Chelsea
got a good CV resume.
yeah.
Chelsea's funny how they who did they fire before they got Roberto Di Matteo and he won the Champions League? Was it Mourinho they fired? I think they got rid of Mourinho. Then Di Matteo
They had him
took over.
twice.
Then Di Matteo won the Champions League, and then he was like gone after that. He hasn't been anything.
Ranieri, same thing.
Same thing.
Year.
But Ranieri, his whole career, he was always the bridesmaid, they called him. He was always the number 2. I think he finished second with Roma. He finished second with Juve.
Do you think
and then he finally got his big break. And then I remember, I think it was a couple years ago, he had Andrea Bocelli come and sing at the King Power Stadium in Leicester. And all the fans were still chanting, and he's trying to quiet them down because the English fans, they don't know anything about beautiful Italian music.
Culture.
No, and he's trying to calm them all down.
Shots.
They're all doing like the supporters chants, whatever, like the ultras, and he's going like, no, let the guys sing. Right?
Do you think Ranieri would have been better if he stayed at Roma? Do you think Roma would have been a little better?
Well,
they would have without a doubt they would have had a better transfer market.
He has Roma in his heart, that guy, and he would have taken. He would have, just like De Rossi, he would have stayed for free.
He was linked.
You know, I mean, not literally, but he would have stayed for a reduced contract.
He wanted Toby Alderweireld very badly.
Yeah, but that was a bit of an ask for Roma to get that.
He's not worth much, 20-30 mil. It's personal wages that's going to hit the team. But I mean, Roma haven't found that replacement for Manolas, and it's gonna hurt them if they their second chance is in January. They got to get someone who could fulfill that role.
But then again, they go and re-sign Dzeko. So it makes you wonder what their plan is, and I still don't necessarily know. Anyway, so we're gonna wrap this up. Any final thoughts on?
We got diverted a bit, but the main thing, one thing I wanted to ask everyone is it the same old Juve? Is it a brand new Inter?
It's a good question. I think it's too early to tell with Inter, but you can make the case that they're on an upward trajectory.
I
think it's too early to tell.
You can see that progression they're making. Definitely.
Juve,
there's definitely an improvement that you could see from last year.
Yeah, 100%.
And with Juve, I think there are signs that point to them being a little more of a free-flowing attacking team. But when they play that way against Fiorentina, you can make the case that they were resting themselves for Champions League. But I still don't like it. Yeah. I still don't like seeing that. I would rather see them on a consistent basis put in performances that are much hard work.
Not just
it's hard work, though. I mean, of course.
But you go out.
Then you get injuries.
This is my opinion on it. But like, you go out, you got a Champions League game. You put in your big players. You get that 1-2 goals, and then you sub them off right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't make see what's happening in 30 minutes, halftime. If nothing's happening, then you get them off, and like you keep a couple guys on, right? Yeah. Like your Ronaldos and.
Final thought.
They could have put Dybala on for that Fiorentina game.
You guys are speaking.
Higuain.
You guys are speaking like Juventus don't have a bench. The depth on Juventus is ridiculous.
The B team was more than enough to face Fiorentina, to be honest.
To be honest, you didn't even have to start half the players that were going to play Champions League games.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have played other players.
Demiral come in instead of De Ligt.
Yeah.
And maybe like
Right, start
Yeah,
Ramsey, start Rabiot.
Ramsey and Rabiot
I mean,
come in.
I agree.
they could still
Is Ramsey
perform.
isn't he injured? Or
No, he played today.
He played today, yeah.
He played the last
Even
15, 10
He's
minutes.
not. He's not back up to 100%.
But he's not 100%
You
yet.
could have
No,
played.
100%.
You could have played Mandzukic. You could have played Emre Can.
Dybala.
Yeah,
Why
Dybala.
wouldn't you want to play Emre Can? I mean, you guys left him out of your Champions League. He's the perfect player because you don't have to rest him.
There's some politics going on.
We can talk. We talk
There's
for
gotta
hours.
be something going on though. Like I mean, like if
Juventus
it
have
seems
the
so
depth.
clear to us fans that okay, if you want to rest your team for Champions League,
But you got depth.
yeah, exactly. You got
You
like
have-
15 guys on the bench who could play.
But
no
how many of them are
problem.
being sold, right? How
Doesn't
many,
matter though. Throw them in for that game.
it does matter
brings
because
their value up.
Who was trying to?
No, but if-
who was
let's
trying to
say-
get sold?
Mandzukic and Chan. But if
Yeah.
Mandzukic hypothetically gets
Dybala,
hurt, let's say Mandzukic gets injured and he's out for 6
Mandzukic
months, right?
Mandzukic can leave now if he wants
No,
to.
he can't.
That's
He's got to wait for the
That's
champion.
a very good point.
If Mandzukic or Chan gets injured,
That's a
that's
very
it.
good
They can't
point.
sell them
They
because
can't sell
you're not allowed to transfer an injured player. And you know, even if you could, who's going to want to take on an injured player who's going to be injured for 4 months? You got to pay his salary. So
yeah, that's a very, and then they're stuck with him.
then you're
during
stuck
that
with him. So
injury.
you're better off benching the guy, having a bit of like a discussion, saying we're going to bench you until
That puts
January."
his transfer market down.
No, but the thing is,
But
I don't
it'll
really
drop
think
it a
so.
little bit. Well,
But
he's
not
not
to a
performing
certain-
right. It'll drop it a little bit, but it won't
I think
drop
it's
it as
gonna-
much as an injury would.
But if you're a big name guy and people know who you are, that CV, that resume,
That's by itself.
Yeah,
It
just don't
stands
get
alone.
injured. Show that you're fit and healthy, and
That's
that's
all.
it.
That's all it is.
So I agree with you on that, GP. I didn't foresee that. That's a good point.
Final thoughts. That's it. Good to go. We could have talked for like hours on that. I just like final thought. We could have gone for like a little 2 hours.
Yeah.
So,
we gotta,
The
we gotta
final
quit while we're
thought could
ahead.
have started another podcast.
Final thoughts.
It's okay. We'll save it for this coming.
Same
week.
old Juve, brand new Inter. I think both are. I think Inter's progressing to become something new.
But we'll see. It's only 3 weeks.
It's only
Let
3
the
weeks.
season
I mean,
let the season
new
unfold
management,
itself
you know,
a little
new
bit.
players,
Yeah,
and
exactly. Everyone's under new management. Everyone's got that one or two key piece that they're trying to revolve around. Let the season unfold, and I'm sure many stories are going to come up across
Perfect.
about it.
So on behalf of all of us, Anthony Canavici, Nino Ciotola, Michael Galati, I'm John Paulo Deguano, and we say good night, and we'll talk to you guys later in the week.